Down to Glenn Jakovic.
Anthony, simple message by Scott Waters in that huddle. Composure. When they get the ball, don't allow the breeze or believe the breeze is going to do all the work for them. It is a 3-goal breeze. However, control the tempo of the game. Play tempo footy. They're up against an energetic Port Adelaide who are going to come home. They're excited, but I think the Saints might run over them with their experience.
Thanks, Glenn. You can see the margin there is 5 points. Final quarter from Amy Stadium underway. So Daniel Stewart taking the bulk of the ruck work, you would imagine, in this last quarter. But it's St Kilda with the opening clearance, a very wide one, though. And Revolt having to push right up to the wing and lost the run of it. Thomas, and it's out. You mentioned Milne. Who else for St Kilda, do you think?
Well, they're big guns. I love having Goddard across the half-back line. He'd probably push up the ground with the wind, but Nick Del Santo's been doing a fabulous job, but it's the run that's going to get Port Adelaide home, and the Roadrunner is the one who's given them the lead.
It's the wild card, isn't it, really, David Roden? And here's Wingard again. And the umpire is going to call for a bounce. I thought for a moment he had that look at his face, ready to pay the holding the ball.
I think the other...
Three goals. Hasn't quite been able to get into it as much as he would have liked, but still the 3 goals is a terrific result. And again, St Kilda are able to just hem it in here on the 50. Stanley, Del Santo found a way. Goddard's ready as well. Into Milne. Oh, it's a push. Big call.
Well, it's given Port Adelaide just a little bit of respite. They have got to put some time into Brendan Goddard. His distribution, John, will chop them up if they don't put somebody on him and tighten up on him.
50 metres. It's a 50-metre penalty. Take it.
Kazitsky on Daniel Pearce, a little bit off the ball there.
That's the second one for today. I think it was one of the first quarter Hutto where Kazitsky gave away 50
crucial
to
time.
Pearce.
Crucial time. Disciplines have to come into play.
5 50-metre penalties. To nil. So Jacob Surgeon deciding to lay it off. Carlisle dumps it deep into the 50. The hands are great. Stewart drags it down. And this is a mighty big kick for Daniel Stewart.
Well, once again, just a long bomb inside forward 50, and Port Adelaide become as dangerous as any club with the amount of tools they've got up there that can take a big grab. They just haven't been able to get it in that often enough in recent times in this match.
Kicked 8 goals, 9 last year, so kicking a goal was a problem. Not so the year before, though, so certainly the capability's there. But it is an issue for him on this occasion. Back to 5 points. Goddard.
What a moment for Scott Waters. First game, cliffhanger.
Again, Wingard, South Australian under-18 captain, has given glimpses of what could be to come. (76-71). Broadbent.
Well, Jacko, they've got to get better on the bench, Port Adelaide. Carlisle came from the deck and no one was ready. Travis Boak's just run on, but it suggests that they haven't quite got it orchestrated.
And it happened in the third quarter as well, Jared. So a bit of pressure for him.
You've got the runner out there trying to get somebody back. You've got a tall who's by himself at the present time, Stanley. So Rewald and Stanley are both alone, and they've got midgets running back to man them up.
Great individual effort there from Surgeon, but in the end, he was overwhelmed by the numbers. He's claiming it's out on the full. And he's been able to talk the umpire into it. Let's see who was right here. Ooh. Off the knee. That's a big call. And there was some confusion. Amounts to nil for Daniel Pearce.
That's just poor discipline. Why wouldn't you put that to the top of the square?
Yeah, exactly
Get
right,
Butcher into it and Westhoff into it.
Exactly. Put that 20 metres out and allow your big guys to jump. Stewart was down there. His timing with his jumps today has been very good. Just give him a chance.
Well, they're set up for the fast break. They've got the fastest player in the AFL, Reece Stanley, in the forward half by himself.
Surgeon again. You know that he'll go every single time. Takes the mark. Leading by 5. Hard for Westhoff. Fisher. He's got Goddard just there. Well done from the big man Westhoff. Nothing was going to come out on his watch there.
Great work by Westhoff, but once again that kick was 1 onto 2 there. They've got to get it to the top of the square and give the forwards every chance to bring the ball down for players like Roden and co.
Quick interchange. Stanley off for Kazitsky. So now Paul Stewart, who'd be about 15 centimetres shorter than him, gets it in there. It gets a very difficult matchup.
Well, they need some reward for effort here, Port Adelaide. Watch Roden around this stoppage. 4 inside 50s to 1 in the early part of this quarter.
They've just got to get Carlisle back on the ground, Jono. Sometimes you can't look at the minutes. You just got to look at what's required. Get him out there.
Again, Ray is watching Roden closely. They know how dangerous he is. Boak, though, was the man that got it going. Pearce, again on the wrong side for a left footer. But it's either a mark or a goal. It's a mark paid. They might go for a look here.
What they'll look at is a double touch, double grab.
We'll have a check of this, see if it's a mark or a juggle over the line.
Well, either or, it's going to be a goal to Port Adelaide, which is significant.
Well, will it be a goal, or could it be
it's either a mark
and then a behind?
It's a clear mark.
Well, the umpire said a mark, or you'd be a harsh judge to say that was a bobble.
This is the one here.
Yeah, the post's going to get in the road, isn't it?
He's marked that inside. He didn't juggle that over.
Schmitty.
Yep.
Clean mark, mate. It's a mark.
It's a mark?
Yep.
It's a mark. It's a mark.
Well, that's the news Port Adelaide wanted. Clean mark and a clean goal means that they now lead by 11 points.
Well, that's what they needed. Their time in forward half at the start of this game has been well outweighed that of St Kilda. 5 inside 50s to 1. And that man who kicked it in, Jared Pearce, you call for that to go forward to have an impact and get that run and drive they need in the forward half of the ground.
He's the class. He's the polish that perhaps will get them home, because the mix-up they had in the first 3 quarters wasn't going to get it done. But Westhoff also, just being able to grab that was critical.
Out to 11. Maybe climax with the bounce of the ball.
A big quarter for Daniel Stewart up against Ben McAvoy. Ben certainly lifted in the second half of the St Kilda Football Club. So just an inexperienced player needs to hold his own in the aerial contests.
And McAvoy wins it down.
It's been good today, Jack Stevens. Won a lot of ball.
17th disposal coming up. He's run wide as well, hasn't he? Lots of running today. He takes Kazitsky wide, though. The numbers favour Port Adelaide. O'Shea, Malira, not a bad little touch in there. Goddard's everywhere at the moment. Malira again, some good evasive skills. Sets it up to full forward. Peake waits down. Peake can hopefully use his pace, gets onto the ball. First step taken care of, but Revolt the fumble. Under the pressure, good smother Geary. Gives him another crack. Peake, second opportunity. Ducks inside, but gives it back to Hartlett. Hayes is going to not let him escape. Too high.
Do you think Peake should have jumped at it, Jared?
No, I don't. I think that they've got enough jumpers down there, and it's not his strength. And they've been so exposed, Port Adelaide, of blokes staying down, that it was really half an opportunity. But Troy Chaplin, was he exposed there for not having a right foot?
Free kick given against Goddard. It's a Wingard.
First sign of cramp for the year. Sorry for this match.
Could that have been 50? Did the ball go to Goddard then
That should have been 50, Joe, you're right.
That's a big miss, isn't it?
It's right in front of the umpire.
Although if the bloke's on the ground cramping, maybe that comes in.
Still doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Hutto.
So they're changing around now. Stewart off, tall Stewart off for short Daniel Pearce.
McCarthy. Goddard comes late.
grab.
Oh, that is a group of steel from Broadbent.
They've got Pearce on the switch here if they can get it to him.
Didn't see him.
He hooks it long. Butcher's going to have to contend with two. Blake Roden! Oh, they're disappointed with that. You can see the look of anguish on Jason Blake's face. He just didn't quite judge it.
Well, that wind has really mucked around with the judgment of all for a period of, well, for the entirety of the match. And once again, it was only Roden that kept his eyes hard on the ball. All the backs were worried about men and the ball. He miscued.
David Roden, of course, after 2 bouts of Lars surgery, you can't keep him down. He pops up and kicks a vital goal, and who knows, maybe a match-winning goal.
Well, David Roden able to come on as a sub just before three-quarter time and had a couple of touches at the end of the third quarter. He's had 6 now for the game with a goal on the board, and only one there kept his eye on the ball, was able to get a free jump at it and a good mark in the end. Blake needed to come across and take body rather than try and just search for the ball.
So Port Adelaide out to a 17-point lead, and the Jointers are jumping a little now. Can they go on with it, or will the experienced Saints somehow find a way? Cassisi, though, the skipper, doesn't want to let this one slip. Met by Dempster and Fisher. Some hesitation, and that was because there was nowhere to go.
It's the umpire.
It's deliberate. Has to be deliberate.
He's got it.
All right.
Pass goes in quickly. And McCarthy's had quite an influence as this game's continued. This is his 20th disposal coming out.
He's got Cassisi short. He's got the jumpers long.
He goes for the jumpers, and maybe going short to the captain might have been a better idea. Anyway, Montagna's breaking. Had no one out wide, really, so he's had to kick to a one-on-one. It might fall yet for Milne, who comes skipping through. Carlisle was desperate, and that was a touch that was crucial, as it turns out. The fumble from Surgeon lets them down. Corns scoops it up. Had to go with the instant handball. He got crunched afterwards. Play on the call. Chaplin takes it out to Stewart, and they're away again. There's some options through the middle. Let's see if he's brave enough. He doesn't want to go there. That's fair enough. They're in front. They're defending their lead. Oh, Butcher came late. In the end, I think he actually meant to get that down to Boak. And it's a ball up, you would think.
There was a really interesting point you made, Hutto, about taking the gamble. You had
Even running through the middle
of the ground. He was desperate for the ball, but if it doesn't absolutely hit the target, it's a potential goal at the other end. And I reckon the coach will be wrapped with the decision he made.
Given the position of the game and where they're at, it's a good call. 21,000 here. What a difference it could make to Port Adelaide's season to start this way.
Farron Ray's gone straight onto Roden.
Hard man to lock up. Stevens. Oh, Kane Corns.
I need the Saints now to show a little bit of that spirit, because Port Adelaide have dead set come out charging.
Back with the flight, called in. Stewart takes the mark. Another example for you, Jared, of that spirit.
We go back to that last mark. Roden got all the applause and the credit for the goal, but it was Broadbent's mark, one possession back, that set it up for them.
Long to Schultz again. Gilbert heard the call from Geary. And now Goddard. He has to go all the way around. So he has got Peak on here. Has to release it quickly, Dempster. He knew that. Next off the line will be Malira. He's told to go more inboard to Stephen.
Yeah, it was a good kick.
And they sorted it out nicely now. Advancing to half forward. All about this kick. It was well placed for Del Santo. Hartlett has interfered there. That was a fair call. Probably didn't need to in the end.
Of course he didn't. There was 5 Port Adelaide players and Nick Del Santo. But fatigue comes into it. It does. I mean, he's desperate. He can smell a victory.
Still, the whiff is there, that's for sure. They lead by 17. Nick Del Santo, one who did step up in the absence of Lenny Hayes last year, had a fine season. Has traditionally struggled against Port Adelaide for numbers, but he's not tonight. Crucial goal. Game on again. Back to 11 points. And the St Kilda faithful have made the journey, still believing, because there's plenty of time and they have the advantage of the breeze.
This game is well and truly still up for grabs, and just brilliant stuff from Nick Del Santo. That was just to be able to go back and finish. I mean, you expect it of great players, but it's still, the job still has to be done. And the free kick there for hitting the hands, but the ball was already spilled out. And you just get the funny feeling Matthew Price didn't agree with that decision, Jono.
Well, you look down the other end of the ground, he took the body, and I like that as a defender. Someone trying to sprawl, take the body. Blake at the other end didn't take the body.
Well, it's a frantic time for everyone.
Takes an easy mark.
We saw what it meant to the coaches. Del Santo in deep again. Milne creating havoc. No free. Takes it and misses.
He's so dangerous down there.
How big are these kick-ins under this circumstance? Not a position. Not a sought-after position, you would think.
They're going for Butcher and Schultz. I want it over the line.
Safety first for Hartlett. Schultz is there. Blake has an impact just out of the reach. A number of players. Polo got in, though, and earned a free, I think. Advantage taken. Geary, it is winding up. Who's deep? McAvoy and Milne. The tall and the short of it. And no one was left standing when the play ended.
We tried to mark that, Stephen Milne, rather than pushing away and being there for the crumb, but in the end he nearly backed himself into another shot at goal.
McAvoy a little nudge. Surgeon and Stephen. Boak up and under. Dempster, no free kick. Polo, clever hands. Gilbert, the setup is complete. Fisher, high ball again. I needed a mark down there and couldn't find a genuine target. Hartlett.
Well, that was just class. Being able to out-position Nick Grewald. Absolute class taking the front spot.
He's had a big night. He's Hartlett. 22 disposals for the young man. That's illegal contact. It goes to Butcher.
Well, he's only had 4 possessions after quarter time. He's one player that needs to get into the game. Jason Blake's done a fantastic job. You think they're going to win this game, Butcher's got to have some sort of influence in the next 5 or 6 minutes.
Again, goes the conservative down the line. Not a bad approach. They've got the targets there. Stewart heaving it out. Boak. Now they're moving. Ebert called for it long. Went short instead. Oh. Schultz has his arms up in despair, saying, I had the advantage on my opponent. He was down in the goal square.
And Jones, always the defender, just belting the ball across the line rather than snaffling it. It was in his hands. They threw it across.
Stewart, Roden, still Roden. Corns provides protection. Roden releases into the pocket. Oh, it was perfect.
Jono, you said that Matthew Primus had to get Roden's release absolutely perfect. Right now,
I think he'd be pretty happy.
He'd be very happy.
Yes.
Schultz again. He's kicked 2 straight and 1 out in the full. Jay Schultz. This is the moment where that renowned accuracy needs to come to the fore. He's on the way. Expectant crowd. Oh dear.
Can do it to everyone.
So 2 goals and 2 on the full.
May almost have been enough if that goes through. Fast break's going to be the killer here for Port Adelaide. Just got to make sure they've got someone behind.
Margin 11, Del Santo. Oh, Kaczynski, what about that for a fly? In the end, though, it doesn't help the cause. Hartley, that kick will be chopped off. This is Malira, goes for broke. 2 on 2 deep. They need to defend, and they do. Surgeon marks again, and they're ready to run. They're ready to roll out at half-back. They've got numbers on this wing, and they know it. Kaczynski now told just to calm down. And the skipper happy to oblige. 7.5 minutes on the clock. Some short options for him, but again, just down the line with a mid-range kick. Mate, Westhoff have to come a long way. And it's over and out. Matthew Primus, what a victory it would be for him. It would be bitter for Scott Waters. The start of his journey as the coach of St Kilda. They lost what turned out to be a pivotal round 1 match against Geelong last year. It was a tight one, and they took a long time to recover.
Smart knock on.
Oh, Butcher off the head, just when they needed clean hands. Blake, the world was closing in on him. Dempster, guides it, gave it plenty of loop. Fisher, Saints acting like they're in front, but they're behind by 10 points. They're the ones that need to generate something. Dempster knows it, takes it wide. Can they work their way all the way around again? Stevens. A 50-50 ball really for Geary.
Can't go to ground.
No.
Got away with it.
He did. It was Ebert that went to ground.
Interesting on Butcher. He looked as if he didn't see that ball, Jono. Hit him right in the mush.
It's like the extra spin on it just caught him by surprise.
Maybe just got onto him too quickly, but there was a goal there for the begging.
McAvoy. That's a shove for Pearce, for Roden, I should say. I heard the call from the umpire, if any man can get out of there. And of course it was Roden.
Got a score, Port Adelaide. They've had domination of the ball for 5 or so minutes.
It was a tired kick from Surgeon. Kaczynski, the skipper.
Got to make it count because St Kilda will come again.
Could be Westhoff's night. No, not with that kick. Although Schultz is there. Quickly stripped of it. Broadbent. Will it be Thomas? No, it won't.
No right foot.
Ray.
Coming back.
Oh, it's all there. The man who started so many attacks tonight. Hartlett. It'd be sweet if he could finish it. Can't yet, but still they might. Broadbent, another opportunity. Another smother. It's getting tougher. It's getting harder. Tired old legs out there. It all helps Port, though, because they lead with less than 6 minutes remaining now. And it's a long, long way from St Kilda's goal, Jono.
So close to Port Adelaide, but great defence by the Saints with both sides just out on their feet.
The tackles, the smothers. It's grueling footy. Who's going to find something when there's nothing there to find? Roden, the freshest of them all. Even he can't find a space. Geary, Armitage, Thomas. Out and out the back. Suddenly they're outside defensive 50, St Kilda. If they can win the ball, and they can, maybe they can move into attack.
Hartlett's the one who's got to get himself positioned because he's trying to get forward to kick a goal, but he's got to be as mindful to be back, trying to prevent one.
So
inch
by inch, they got to half-back. Lenny Hayes with the football. He trims the kick nicely for Goddard, who takes the mark.
And he's the man who you want the ball because he can create. I mean, the long bomb is just as effective as anything at the moment.
Oh, that's the tactic he employs. Stanley comes bounding through, did enough, created the contest. Stevens was looking for mates, didn't find any, and Hartlett again comes up with it. And look at the kick, whipped it into the middle, not going to go where he was hoping it would. Couple of little handballs. Hayes back to find some space.
Gilbert's just come on, so he's spare here if they can get it to him.
And the build-up is good. Apollo ignores Gilbert, and that's because he had other options. Oh, Fisher left it behind. Mistakes are still prevalent. Can use Gilbert. Now would be a good time for one of those wind-up, long, raking kicks. Needed to be on target. Points are just no use at all. They're redundant at the moment for St Kilda because the margin is 10. It'll take 2 goals. 21,000 people at the moment, hearts in mouth.
Well, they've got the full press working here, Port Adelaide, and this is a big kick. Sorry, St Kilda.
Port have led for 110 minutes in this game. Saints only 6, but all that matters is the score at the end. Revolt gets it deep. Stanley straight up and down. Ray, Stanley the tap, and here's the small man again, Roden. Decided to handball, both held without the ball. Must be a free. Critical decision.
Port Adelaide have gone short on their forward line. John Butcher's come for a rest. Travis Boak's gone on.
Travis Boak.
Butcher snuck back on here. He's got 100 metres to himself inside the forward half for Port Adelaide.
Does he press go or does he just hold on, Corns? Somewhere in between. And they know the clock. They'll know the situation. Corns has just been on the bench. He'll be telling them that there's only 4 minutes to go, so they can go backwards. He could easily have gone backwards. Instead, he went forwards and it proved the demise. So St Kilda's still alive. It'll take some doing, though, for the Saints from here.
It's going to take their guns. It's going to take Goddard or Del Sando.
Free kick. Roden decides to push. They decide to thrust. One more will do it. On tired legs.
Oh.
Westhoff in and out. And again the turnover. And it's Goddard saving the day. But it needs more than just winning the ball in defence. They need to find a hero and a miracle, the St Kilda side now. 2:48 on the clock.
Smarter decision there, and the game is over, Jono.
It's in handball over the top. First option. Easy goal.
Oh, no time for fumbles. Stanley took an eternity. Goes for Revolt. Has to find something. Digs deep. But it's not his night. And look at the Port Adelaide faithful. The coach looks calm.
A lot happening down here on the bench. A number of rotations is happened in the last 30 seconds. So both teams are happy with the right players to be on for this last couple of minutes.
Lots of arms waving down there on the bench. Plenty of Saints around the ball. Cassisi, a good man to have the footy on. He's earned himself a free. He'll be in no hurry. Kane Corns comes in as the consultant just to say, plenty of time.
They're going to have to press up here, St Kilda. They've got to get a turnover. 2 goals in 2 minutes is the order. They can't let them just go into any... Oh, well played.
That is a calamity. Jones misses Revolt. Still might get a chance. The skipper, the left foot. It's on target. They're still alive.
Well, it was the only chance they had to press up and create the turnover. And the turnover was horrendous in hindsight. Easy here, but... that's just great forward defensive work. And Rewald was good enough to get involved and snap what could be a critical goal.
Well, game on. Minute 54 to go. And we've got another beauty.
One minute 54. Matthew Primus. Oh, how he must be feeling now. The stress will be evident all over the ground. McAvoy against O'Shea, a relative midget at 193. Cassisi, oh, that could have been a free, another crucial one. And now it goes to Port Adelaide.
Well, it's just got to be stop ball.
Lucky it did, after the first one appeared to be there. O'Shea out wide for McCarthy. Can they maintain possession of the football?
Have to try and get Stewart back on the ground.
McCarthy, a minute in at 25 now. Where to next? Saints have numbers back, so they'll have the numerical advantage here. Kick very wide, which was smart under the circumstances. And it's a Saints ball. So still there's an opportunity. Here's Jason Blake's big moment. He featured it on the downside, I guess, in that round 1 match last year when they came so close against Geelong. This time, he has to be attacking. He knows it. Went for Geary. Geary stood his ground, did well, but the numbers might prevail. Young Wingard, everyone fierce. Hartlett, big kick. O'Shea, will he go with the moment? No, he doesn't. Fair call. He can have the shot and just about burn the match here.
And that's why Hartlett is such an invaluable asset to this club. Under the absolute pressure, he doesn't blaze away. He makes a smart decision, and that decision is to get the ball into their hands and burn the clock.
I'll tell you who has been impressive. His last 2 efforts, Chad Wingard as Primus. Barking instructions.
O'Shea, the moment is his, but he misses. Can St Kilda? They can. Play on, takes the initiative. We're down to 15. They can't make a mistake, the Saints. In front, Stanley. Urgent, has to kick it. 8 seconds. I don't think there's time. One last surge for the Saints. Jones, they've just got to hold him in their tracks. It'll be a huge win. Malira, the siren sounds. Have a look at the scenes. You'd think they'd won the flag, Port Adelaide. It's a big win for the club, and they're going to soak it up tonight. What a courageous performance by Port Adelaide. Again, the Saints go down in a heartbreaking round 1 encounter. But the adrenaline is pumping here for Port Adelaide.